Why? Why not?
There are a lot of bootlicking, buck dancing, sellout ass black MAGAs out there, but there are none who will ever outdo the bootlicking and buck dancing of fake Officer Tatum. Remember in 2023, University of Texas played the University of Alabama in football in Alabama. Texas beat them. So at the end of the game, their players were on the sideline celebrating that victory. During that time, there were fans from the University of Alabama in the stadium yelling at those athletes. They were yelling racial epithets at them, they were yelling homophobic epithets at them, and they were telling them to go back to the projects. Every single person who watched that video said, yeah, that was racist and homophobic of those fans, except for bootlicking, buck dancing, fake Officer Tatum. And if you forget that video, here it is.
Go back to the projects! Go back to the projects! Go back to the projects! Let's go!
So yeah, definitely homophobic, definitely racist, and definitely obvious to fake Officer Tatum as well. But he has boots to lick, and he really wants his proximity to racist white Republicans. So he comes out and he has the worst take you could ever imagine about this incident.
Some black people were offended by that. This is why I think people are just mentally ill that are pushing the racist thing. Do you know the kid that's yelling, get back to the projects, is paying to watch a game essentially where the kids that he's talking about are on full scholarship? They at the game free, they on the team free, getting treated like kings. And this person is at the game paying for a ticket that funds these players getting a full scholarship.
He says woke liberals are upset about this, and then basically says these people have the right to be racist towards black people because they paid for tickets. You cannot make this shit up. In a later video, he tried to backtrack on that because even his fans were saying, bro, that was racist. And then he came out and said, how can people be racist if they're paying for tickets to see black people playing the game? Dude, how can slave owners be racist if they're their slaves? Are you fucking kidding me right now? You got to be one of the biggest idiots ever. But this isn't the first time he's done that. Officer Tatum is often used by the racist right to say basically, hey, we aren't saying it. Officer Tatum is saying it.
If a white teen had killed a black teen, then anybody who donated to his GoFundMe would be fired from their job, would be publicly humiliated, would be shamed. Of course, there wouldn't really be a GoFundMe that was set up. Everybody would just say, oh, that's evil. You can't just kill someone. You can't just murder someone in cold blood who's unarmed. We're against that. And so let's all move on, and the process will play out, and justice will be served, hopefully. What you have here is the inverse of that. And if you go check, man, you want to talk about a black pill, you go check the comments on the fundraiser. It's just hatred against white people. As you saw, I mean, it's just like rewarding the guy for killing a white person.
And you see how he's sitting there like, that's true, bunch of racism. None of that is true. None of that is true. But that is how they use bootlicking buck dancers like fake Officer Tatum. And they're so shocked. Oh, people put up a GoFundMe to help this kid out? We recently had a white woman call a little black kid the N-word, then put up a Give, Send, Go and make over $700,000. What the fuck are you guys talking about? The blatant racism in this country, it's freaking rampant. We see it every single day. And recently, Officer Tatum said that a black man who was told by a black restaurant owner that black people weren't wanted there was lying. And he said he was lying because, according to him, that would be suicide for that business in 2025.
After we were not satisfied, the owner of Salt and Honey down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, he told my wife and I that black people are not welcome in his establishment and that I can leave and I'm barred from his restaurant.
In 2025, you will find it hard pressed for a man to say black people aren't welcome here. That is business suicide. So do I think that man said that? No.
So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that I came across another video today of fake Officer Tatum with a take about Rosa Parks, where he says she wasn't heroic.
There's this idea when you think about Rosa Parks and what she did, and everybody thinks she's so heroic. And I used to appreciate what she did and others did until I started researching and finding out the truth. Do you know Rosa Parks and them had a car? Why did they stage that incident instead of it being a genuine incident where white people were discriminated against blacks? They staged it.
He said after doing his research, he doesn't think she's heroic because she owned a car. The amount of bootlicking this dude does, the amount of buck dancing this guy does every single day. Imagine for a second being fake Officer Tatum. You gotta wake up every single day and look for stories to criticize your own people because you know that's the only way you make your money. You have built an audience of racist people who only pat you on the back and buy your merch because they can point to you and say, look, that black guy said it. Look, Officer Tatum is saying it, so it must be true. That is what he does every single day. This dude knows his livelihood depends on racist white people buying his stuff. He knows the ability to feed his family and pay his bills depends on him being the black face for racist white people. That is what he is every single day. So it doesn't surprise me that he's out there pushing the envelope more because, you see, when you're a black MAGA, you're in competition with other black MAGAs to be the most bootlicking, buck dancing sellout out there. So when just saying that black football players on sidelines aren't being treated, racially or aren't being victims of racism, that when that doesn't become enough, you got to go further. So now he's at the point where he's saying Rosa Parks is not a hero. I'm telling you now, we are not far away from that guy saying Harriet Tubman, shouldn't be looked at as a hero and MLK is a horrible person. We're not far from him saying that because, again, he's in competition with other bootlicking buck dancers who are also pushing the envelope as far as they can get it as well. This is what these people do. Every single day, he has to wake up and think, what is the worst thing I can say or do about the black community to get me in the lead as the biggest bootlicking buck dancer out there? That is it. That's why you see it. That's why he's always going off about buy my merch, because that dude has shirts to sell, and in order for him to sell those shirts, he has to be the best blackface for white racism. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.